Imagine waking up one day to discover that most people around you no longer question anything, that the world has become so loud, so fast, and so saturated with information that the human mind, once a powerful tool for inquiry, discernment, and growth, has dulled into passive acceptance. Think about that. What happens to a society where critical thinking vanishes, where the ability to reason, challenge, and reflect is replaced by instant reactions, surface-level opinions, and collective echo chambers? In this video, we are going to uncover the disturbing truth behind the disappearance of critical thinking and the dangerous rise of what some philosophers now call collective stupidity, a phenomenon where masses of people adopt shallow thinking, blindly accept narratives, and surrender their intellectual independence without even realizing it. And at the end of this journey, we will uncover the most powerful and urgent truth of all, one that could determine whether we reclaim our minds or lose them entirely to a system designed to keep us comfortably numb.
There's problems everywhere. They want to get in his car. Let me in the car. He wasn't in his car or anything. I don't know why they think they get to go through his car now. And they just decided to access the guy's car and start searching it. He never got in his car or anything. He must have told him it was his car. And so now they're just like searching it. These cops are above the law. They don't need a warrant. Yeah, these cops don't even know I'm here. The guy was caught shoplifting from Jewel Osco. And now they just take it amongst themselves to decide we're going to search your car. Even though he wasn't even in his car. They got him as he was leaving the store. It's not looking like he's going to get off free. Now there's a tow truck pulling up. So now they're even going to tow his car. God. How shady. It didn't take them long to get the tow truck on scene. They're like, yeah, revenue, baby. Revenue, revenue, revenue.
Chuck, could you clear up a few questions regarding the circumstances behind the arrest and subsequent search of the man's car? Based on your video narratives, is it your contention that the only way that the police can legally search the vehicle is with a valid search warrant? What are the totality of the circumstances in this case? What specific factual information are you relying upon to form your opinion that police are violating the man's Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable searches and seizures? What, if any, specific case law can you cite that would tend to support your claim that the only way the police, that is scavengers, can legally search the car is if they possess a valid search warrant? Do you know for a fact that the police didn't have a valid search warrant, including the possibility of a telephonic search warrant? Do you know for a fact that the man didn't give police consent to search? An inventory search could be in play here since they are impounding the man's car. What are the specific legal tenets that apply when police perform an inventory search? Hint: it cannot be used as backhanded justification to perform a generalized search of the car. But what if police find contraband or other evidence of a crime during a lawful inventory search utilizing the plain view doctrine? Does the plain view doctrine apply to the public as well as to the police, or does it apply only to the police in the performance of their duties? What is the primary difference that distinguishes the plain view doctrine from the open view doctrine? Do you think that Arizona v. Gantt might apply? How about the Carroll doctrine? I'm sure you can recite the scope of a Carroll search off the top of your head. What is a Carroll search, by the way? What year was Terry v. Ohio handed down by the U.S. Supreme Court? Detective McFadden had one clear eye, and that's a fact. Tens of millions of Americans watch Auditor and Cop Watcher videos. In fact, when it comes to knowing the rights and the law, it is pretty much the only source of information that they rely upon. They are staking their very futures on the presumption that someone like you, Chuck, knows the law and therefore can be trusted to get things right. I recall watching one of your videos where you were yelling legal advice to a passenger in a car. You told him that as a passenger, they could either get out of the car and walk away, or that passengers did not have to get out of the car when ordered by the police, although I think it was the former. Regardless, both assertions were made by cop watchers and both assertions were dead wrong. Before anyone accuses me of being anti-activist, I wrote 2 books on police reform, police accountability, and knowing your rights in the law after being inspired solely by the work of activists. This means the bad information will remain on the internet forever, gathering even more views and polluting even more minds with zero chance of a retraction by Chuck. Activists never recant, ever. Might affect the bottom line, you know. What usually happens, and this is a response that you get from their most diehard viewers and subscribers, if you criticize an activist, someone is going to write a comment below the video that reads, you fucker, why don't you go out and do your own audit, you piece of shit, and completely brush over the problem. As a matter of fact, with activists, there are 2 problems. The first problem is what we're talking about, the information they get wrong in their video, but the second bigger problem is what they don't know, the information gap or the knowledge gap. Things you'll never hear them bring up in their videos because they don't even know it exists. And this is universal across the activist world. Universal. I don't care how many videos somebody watches, and some are probably into 5 figures. You're not getting a well-rounded education on knowing your rights with the law by simply watching videos put forth by activists. You see, this is America wanting to be entertained, not educated. This is America being too lazy and comfortable, not wanting to put the time or the work in. If all someone does is watch a video, get pissed off, and post a nasty comment, and they have themselves believing that that's good enough in terms of promoting freedom and fighting back against police tyranny, it's no such thing. They're deluded. And then all they know how to do is go back and watch another video, get pissed off even more, and write an even nastier comment below a video. And they think they're contributing something. So much so that they have no compunction when it comes to making ad hominem attacks on people like me who actually know what I'm talking about. This isn't about being an expert. This is being competent and confident in the knowledge that you share with people. Let me ask you a simple question. Do activists ever get the information wrong, yes or no? Of course they do. So that's a big yes. They get it wrong. What's the margin of error that a person is willing to tolerate and still believe that activists know what they're talking about, to the point where they're willing to basically risk it all during either their next or their very first police interaction. I hope people are listening to what I'm saying, because you're literally putting it all on the line. Because if you get into a situation with law enforcement, let's say during a traffic stop, and you think, oh, I'm going to be able to recall what activists A through Z said about this particular thing, and I'm pretty sure what they said, and I'm going to bet everything on it, and I'm going to stick it to the cops. That's right, I'm going to stick it to the cops. We hear people in videos say it. They'll tell the officers, hey, we watch First Amendment auditor videos, and we know our rights. We watch videos, and they don't know anything. Or it's been misrepresented, it's misinformation, or the activist knew just enough to be dangerous, just enough not to be able to provide proper context. You're going up against law enforcement people. First of all, look at the setting. Are you going to be calm, cool, and collected? Are you sitting in your living room with the air conditioning on? Huh? Hey, go get me a beer out of the fridge or light up another Bogart, Buck. Really? It's going to be incredibly stressful. It's going to be rapidly evolving and dynamic. And the cops may very well be extremely aggressive. That is not the time to test out any theories when it involves members of the second most powerful government entity in this country, second only to the U.S. military. Civilian fucking law enforcement. They hold all the cards. They have the power. They have the resources. They have the time. They have the money. They have qualified immunity, police unions, internal investigations, and the politicians. And how about we throw in at least half of the American people who naively think the cops walk on water? They wear the white hats. Here's another example of limited thinking when people go apeshit on the cops during an interaction. Who the fuck do you think makes up the average juror on a jury? Bootlickers. If you think being a psychopath with the cops under any circumstance is in your best interest, not only does someone need some professional help, but I really do hope your life insurance is paid up. You're going to be going up against the government in court, and you're probably going to be hanging out there all by yourself while the state rolls up 1, 2, 3, 4 witnesses. And it doesn't matter whether they lie or they tell the truth, unless that comes out in court. Who is the judge and who are the jurors going to place greater credibility with in terms of their sworn testimony? It ain't us. Know your enemy. In this case, yeah, it's the cops and it's the government in general. So why would you want to say or do anything to make yourself your own worst enemy? You have to hold on to every advantage. Grow up. Be an adult even if the officer or officers are not. Be the adult in the room, I am imploring you. You know, there's something else I want to talk about before I end the video, and that's when somebody says, I'm going to go out and get involved in activism, and they create a channel and they're all over the social media pages. Do they have an obligation to get the information they provide in their videos correct? Yes or no? I think they do, but apparently there are tens of millions of Americans who don't. That they're somehow above reproach, these activists. How dare you criticize them? How dare you point out that they get information wrong? That's pulling me out of my comfort zone. Well, that doesn't hold sway with me. You wonder why I'm passionate about this, why I wrote those two books, man. So here's the last thing I want to say. If you take to heart what an activist says in regards to the law, and you put that into motion during an interaction with law enforcement, and it ends up getting you hemmed up because it was wrong, where's that activist going to be? You know, the one who provided legal information but got it all wrong. Where's that activist going to be in terms of your defense? They're going to be defraying your defense costs? Offering up a hug or a comfortable shoulder to cry on? No. Well, I'll tell you where you can find them. You can find them in the wind. You see, at the end of the day, we're all on our own. And it's up to us to make the good choices and the right decisions and to look out for our own best interest and not place that responsibility in any way, shape, or form on someone else. So remember, if you believe whatever activists say and you take it to heart and you put it into motion during a law enforcement encounter and it gets you, I don't know, a ticket or detained or arrested, chained and caged and in the court system that doesn't give a shit about you except for your money and to strip you of dignity. Yeah, that's right. At the end of the day, we're in this all by ourselves, and we've been in it all by ourselves from the second we were born. How could we have forgotten that? Let's hope we haven't. No, there's not going to be a knight in shining armor. We need deep pockets, or maybe we need to have some kind of hidden stash of precious metals. But other than that, we're just completely and utterly on our own. Remember that the next time you're watching an auditor video thinking that you're getting educated in your air-conditioned home, drinking cold beer, maybe having someone yell at you because you're putting a Bogart on that joint. Yeah, blind faith, usually what that ends up is getting someone blindsided. And all I can say is good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Ever heard of the plain view doctrine?
I don't have to answer your question. Since you don't want to answer mine.
So you don't know. Yeah, but you're a public servant.
I do.
You do need to answer questions.
Says who?
Me.
Are you my boss?
Yes, I'm a citizen. You're a servant. Do you not get that? Plain view doctrine gives you the right to look into cars, and it gives me the right to look into cars too.
So here's our complaint form. Is there any other questions I can answer for you?
No, she said I'm detained.
We've established that you haven't committed a
I
crime at
looked
this point.
around under the plain view doctrine and
Now that we know that you're just exercising your rights, you're free to go, sir.
appreciate it.